So if you say 304, can I say GAY every time y'all say 304? Would that be fair?
If you see somebody being GAY, that's up to you. That's your judgment.
First of all,
as long as it's on an individual basis. Plus, name calling, we don't have to do name calling. We could stop it right there.
We don't have to do that
because that's when it starts to get disrespectful and dangerous.
Yeah, we gotta stop that shit.
Says the person who calls somebody a man a bitch.
After the man done talked about my mama, the fuck?
Nigga, you called me this before I talked about your mom.
He had the 10 commandments of blackness. Number 1, don't call out nobody mama. Don't say 304. Don't say GAY. And we good.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all, man. I listen. I get it. I get the respect thing. I'm a person that believe you have to have self-respect in order to get me to respect you. If you don't respect yourself, why do you want me to respect
you? Who didn't have self-respect on the show?
Listen, I'm not gonna call no names. I'm just making a statement.
Andrea,
I'm a firm believer that if you want,
everybody was.
Let me just repeat it. I'm a firm believer that if you want respect, you have to have self-respect if you want somebody else to respect you.
Name or show examples of what somebody on the panel tonight did that showed that they showed disrespect.
So she might have not said the words exactly, but indirectly, she said that you should be able to express yourself or how you truly feel. And if how you truly feel is parallel to being a 304, and you tell her
it was parallel to being a 304,
you gotta let me finish what I'm saying. This is what I see. This is the perception that's coming from me. It might not match yours, but this is what's coming from me.
You said the word parallel.
If you telling women out here to express their behavior parallel to a 304, then I'm gonna just put the name to it.
But how was it parallel to being 304?
Telling women that they should twerk in public and do all this stuff and not worry about their character, not worry about their image, not worry about making an impression.
But how is that a 304? Because Day West unmuted earlier and was just like, why the fuck are you sitting here trying to mesh twerking and sleeping with multiple guys? Because that's, I think Lady Di said that, or somebody. Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? A woman twerking does not mean she's a hoe. She may be ratchet, she may be ghetto, she may be, unfavorable, but that does not make her a hoe.
So you telling me that women that twerk majority of the time, they like to twerk, they just like to be free. You're saying that the women that you came across are not sexually active in that way?
I've seen plenty of women twerk in plenty different occasions in different environments. If I'm in a bar and it's a dance floor and women are twerking, I don't look at her and say, oh, she's a hoe. Women love to dance, bro. Like, not bro, because I'm talking to you, but women love to dance. Women love to dance.
And a lot of the times, even like when a woman is twerking and a guy, them creepy guys that come up behind the woman that's twerking, they push them back. They rather twerk on their homegirls. It's just like a thing.
Yeah,
and
women
like
love to dance.
Well, let me say this.
Caribbean cultures, they grind real hard on it.
Caribbean cultures,
to grind on. Festivals,
they be pouring shit on each other and everything.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is,
take your clothes off
even if you got a hard on, they put it on it.
Your Caribbean culture, so I'm trying to see if
but,
that's more hoish than
But here's the thing. This is my fundamental belief, and people can have their own opinion about it. Is either you positioning yourself to be a wife, or you for the streets. You're 304.
That's the problem.
Hold on, real quick. Let me just finish. Because if you're not positioning yourself to be a wife and you still out here having sex, what does that make you?
A woman that's not a wife. She ain't got to be a hoe just because she's sleeping with somebody that she's not married to. The fuck are you talking about?
Did you?
Well, that's your belief. That's your belief.
But like I said, this is the cornball shit. If you aren't married, you a hoe. Like, you sound like an idiot.
I said if you're not positioning yourself to be a wife. I didn't say if you weren't
married.
Nobody
needs to be positioning themselves to do shit. And if they don't position themselves to do something, they automatically the opposite. What the fuck are you talking about?
Like I said, If you're not positioning yourself to be a wife, then you for the streets. If you still out here having sex, you still out here busting that ass open, you got to understand how men think and how men are looking for a suitable wife.
I'm a man
You
and
out
I
here-
don't think like that. So
Okay,
men
well,
don't.
then you
think
just
like
want you a simp.
So I don't think
Name
you're a
calling?
cornball.
Every time I say something to a woman, you got to put on your cape.
But
no
at the end
name.
of the day, you may just be a cornball in the way you think, and you have this stupid ass red pill bullshit, just like these
What's
other
that got to
niggas.
do with that? Ain't
And
got nothing to do with
you
red
may
pill.
just simply be a cornball, bro, and that
That
might be
ain't got nothing to do with red pill. That just got something to do with me, what I believe in, and what I'm gonna teach my daughter.
Well, what you believe in is idiotic.
Okay, that's your opinion.
If you ain't married, you for the streets. What kind
That's
of dumb
fine.
shit
That's
is that?
your
You sound like
opinion.
an idiot, bro.
You coach women. You coach women every day. That's what you coaching them to do. If I talk to a woman, I'm gonna tell her, hey, look, you need to be concerned about your character. And you also need to be concerned about the other women and young girls that you may influence, because in some capacity we all have an influence on other people, and you got to carry yourself as such, regardless if you care about perception or how you're judged. You got to care about other people around. You got to take consideration of other people, and our people fail at that miserably. And that's probably the reason why some of these people are marrying outside of their race.
Can I say
No,
something?
that's not the reason why they're married outside their race.
What's
Can
the
I say?
reason?
I was going to say that
They want-
black men have been concerned about their image in the media, and how can we as black women say that we're concerned about how we are portrayed when we are like the perpetrators as well? When we put, remember when you just because you like to twerk, I'm still looked at like, oh, she a black woman, she like, that's what they do. So it affects something that one person does affects everybody. Just like when it's gang violence or men shooting men, they think all black men are like that. But how are we going to say, well, I want to separate twerking from, like, now you got to do a lot of backpedaling, like, well, twerking is not being a 304 or whatever, or being promiscuous. We got to do all of this backpedaling, except if we could just decide, you know what, let's just move on. It came and went. Let's just do something else so we can better our image. If we don't all come together like that, they always going to disrespect us, all cultures, all races. And you just got to think about the future. Sometimes we think about right now too much. Let me have my fun today. We don't think about tomorrow. And then it comes back to bite us when our kids is doing it. Maybe you changed, you became a better woman. Now you can't tell your daughter to stop twerking all the time. Like you haven't seen it with your little daughter's twerking all day on every song or everything. She know every way to wind. At least she could say, "My mom don't do that. I know it's right and wrong." But if you're out there with her doing that, you're promoting it, and then whatever results she get, now she had 3, 4, 5 baby daddies. You got to know that it came from somewhere.
And she don't know how to cook. She know how to twist that ass in a circle. It's the same shit women do whenever they accept these damn roles that paint black women out to be devious or whatever you want to do. It's the same thing. You chose to do it. So now you gotta think about the influence in other girls that's looking at. I get it. You want to get the paycheck, but at what cost?
But remember, we're talking about twerking in a club. That's where it all started from. That's where Dave West started all of this from. And y'all cornballs started pulling it all apart and started calling people hoes and shit. Dave West literally said, I like to twerk in the club with my friends. What's wrong with that? That's where the whole conversation came from. And here come y'all cornballs with all this cornball shit. That's all I'm saying. So
that's what
does a woman need to twerk in the turkey leg hunt? No, it's just, I understand it. So I understand what y'all saying, but y'all got to understand the origin of where the conversation came from. Twerking in the club with your friends, and y'all started with all this stupid shit. That's the problem.
That's what she
y'all
said.
have the need to pull it apart to demonize women and make women look like they're hoes just because they're not married.
Well,
including you, Lady Di. This shit is fucking crazy.
Originally the conversation started from being promiscuous and sexual in public, and then Dave West brought up twerking, but the overarching conversation is about women being sexual publicly. Twerking is just a microcosm of a much larger thing that we're talking about.
But Ms. Lego, I was gonna ask you, man, if you see a woman doing a headstand on the wall and popping that open, what is that? What are you gonna associate that with? I'm just curious.
Well, that's whole shit. doing a handstand on the wall, but do you see how you're?
Oh my God! So it's how you twerk.
What's the threshold? What's the threshold?
In order for me to, of course, come on, man.
There's something called a light twerk. You ain't even gotta bust it up, and this is just a little wiggle, drop it in the pencil skirt. It ain't gotta be like.
Yeah, I'm saying like that. You talking about standing on your hands? What kind of woman? Think about this. I want you to think about this. How nasty would a woman be if she has her hands on the floor of a club,
United States Senator,
upside down dancing? That's disgusting. She's a hoe. Come on, bro. That's different.
Hold on. So you're saying there's a difference between standing on your feet and standing on your hoe is the difference maker?
If I stood on my hands, something wrong with me. What the fuck is you talking about?
Let me just say this.
Anybody who stands on their hands outside, something's wrong with the damn person.
Most women who have sex in these positions are on their feet bending over versus standing on their hands. So it would make sense that the latter is the one that makes you the 304.
So let go. What you're saying is it's not the act, but it's the orientation of the woman that makes her a whore or not. If she's upside down, then that qualifies as a 304. But if she's right side up,
anybody is upside down. If you're upside down, something's wrong with you.
That's a U.S. senator.
So y'all should have determined what type of twerk y'all was talking about.
Maybe
that's whole shit.
Okay, what if she land on her side?
Categorize the twerks.
Yeah, that shit. Because now y'all changing this whole thing now.
She was twerking for votes.
I would have smashed for. I would have voted for her. She would have let me smash though. I seen that video.
Only the person who thinks somebody a hoe would tell a U.S. senator, "I'll smash you for some votes."
So you will smash her for some votes, but you got an issue with me associating 304
because she was standing on her head. Is the difference? She's a hoe.
I said earlier that doing that is sexual, so it's just attracting men.
Who's doing that in the club? Who's doing that
in the damn club? Like, hold on. Let me say one thing. Can I say one thing? It's a possibility. I don't know. That y'all ain't never been no house party. Like, forget the club. Y'all ain't never been no damn party. Like, women dancing.
I DJ'd for like 10 years. I DJ'd. I know all about.
You see what I'm saying?
Every kind of party.
All the women that's dancing hoes, no, they having a good time. What are you up? I literally don't think y'all go outside, and that's why I keep calling y'all cornballs, because y'all apparently don't go outside. Y'all don't see people walking down the street. Y'all don't see nobody doing nothing.
That's not true. I never said
crazy.
Okay, so when y'all go out, do people just stand at the bar and just sip and just like
anybody dancing?
Like, what do they do?
Actually, come on.
The new clubs look like this. They just be in their phone.
Right, I was gonna say Day West. Now you know you've been.
That's what the new clubs look like. They doing that.
Nobody doing shit. But doing TikTok videos.
That's what the new clubs are.
I'm talking about 10 years ago when it was an actual dance floor. What women were dancing, and all of the women in the building are hoes.
Are you telling me the ones that was doing handstands wasn't?
I said dancing. I didn't say handstands.
What kind of
dancing? Now y'all see how stupid y'all look. Now, right? Now y'all see how stupid y'all look.
Think about everybody in the club being on their hands, just throwing.
Who the fuck is on their hands at a club?
I just showed you a video of a U.S. senator on a beach.
She's on a beach. Hello, on a beach.
So the beach.
I said in a club on their hands. What disgusting human being would do that?
That's why would the U.S. senator do it on a handstand in the club? Women have. You remember that song? Hold on, wait. Y'all remember that song? Doing it. What the fuck was it? And she was like, "Oh, that put." I don't want to say the word, but she was like popping on the handstand. Y'all remember that shit? That Ludacris song?
Head Bobby.
Yeah, it was all up in the head bobbing on the hand.
They wasn't doing that though.
Yeah, they was.
That was ludicrous.
Earlier, I was only talking about in public because that's what the context was. Day West said club later, but earlier it was public. A club is the club. Public is like outside, like, you know. That's why I mentioned those places. So I was only talking about that the whole time. And all I'm saying is twerking is just a sexual behavior. So that's all I'm talking about.
It's a mating call.
Like, let me ask you. Attracting men like that just want to just have sex with you. That's what I'm saying. So
I don't
even
really
though
twerk like that anyway, but I'm just saying, like, if a good song come on, like you said, 99 and the 3000s, and you want to just
what about the one that's
when a
here's some
Beyonce
hoes
song
in
and
his mouth,
everybody in the
here's some
club is
hoes
singing
in.
along
What about
and
that?
dancing, like, come on now. But ain't nobody standing
What about
on their
Luke?
head in
What
the
about
club.
Two
I'm
Live
not
Crew
doing
music?
that.
All right, y'all. I'm
I
gonna go to bed. I'll just watch the recording if he
You know who
shows.
Two Live Crew is, right? The West, Day West. You know who Two Live Crew is, right?
It's before my time, but I think I've heard of them.
So you have.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what their
I
music
like
suggests,
I've
right?
heard the name before.
And the lyrics, right?
Would you like to recite those lyrics for me?
There's some hoes in this house. There's some hoes in this house.
Bro, that was not it, bro. That was not their song.
But I guarantee you, if you hear their music and you hear the lyrics, you gonna dance, but you don't realize what you actually dancing to. Some of the stuff they saying.
And people grew up like that. You know, they've been doing it ever since they were little girls. So it just seemed natural. If you've been doing it all your life, you don't see nothing wrong with it. But if you cut it off, you see the difference.
I'll give you a couple of the hits. Throw the D, pop that P, me so horny. Yeah,
Lady Di got a
those are Two Live Crew songs.
It's associated. Like, as bad as you want to try to separate it, it's all association, man.
But still, like, we got offended because we started talking about twerking, and then automatically the men start calling the women, name calling. So that's what we're trying to say. We're trying to avoid all of that. Don't even be like in that same category. If you're trying to accomplish something, you have to be strategic when you're trying to be a wife. Just like men have to be strategic when they're trying to be a husband. So if you are interested in marriage, it's just good advice. You don't have to take it, but you can see other people as stuffy or boring or cornball.
Oh no, I'm not judging nobody, but I'm not strategizing to be nobody. You gonna take what you get and get what you get when it comes to me.
So what do we call women who behave like that?
I'm not about to be like, okay, I got my map to get to the gold. I'm not doing that for no man.
It's called success, baby. There's nothing wrong with success.
Wait, Day West, I got a question for you. If a man wants to live with you and you pay all the bills and he get to sit there and chill, what would you call him?
That's never gonna happen. So
I'm not asking her. I said, what would you call him?
If a man want to sit in my couch,
he want to come over there. He want to come over there, live with you, let you pay all the bills, and he don't want to work. He gonna sit there and live with you. What would you call him?
My hoe.
Wait a minute. Come on.
What?
So wait. So a man, it wouldn't be cool though for somebody going for marriage. So what if he just was like, well, he's not trying to do all this extra stuff. You just could take what you can get. You wouldn't go for the same thing.
Look, I'm not telling y'all that if I was in a relationship or something like that, and he'd be like, babe, like, and it's already like set and so he'd be like, I don't really like the twerking, and I don't like. I will compromise. It's not like I'm out here just doing stuff. Like, I will compromise with my partner if I will respect my relationship to meet in the middle about stuff. I'm not just out here thugging it. I'm like not a bad person, so I don't feel like I have to adjust myself to read the manual to get to a man. I'm not doing that.
But what would you call him? For real, honestly, what would you call him?
Bobbing.
No, not that. I'm talking about the question I asked you originally. What would you call it?
The question? What he is?
Yeah, what would you call him? Like, just straight. What would you call him?
I don't have a title for nothing like that. I wouldn't even allow anything like that in my presence. So
what would you call it? If you wouldn't let that in your presence, what would you call that?
Unacceptable.
Well, what would you call it?
Like, I don't have anything to call it.
You wouldn't call it. There's no Lady Dot. What would you call that, man?
So y'all know how to do the name calling. I don't really.
Ruth, what would you call that, man?
A bum?
Day West know damn well she would call him a bum. She's just trying to split hairs because she know, like, she would be like, this bum ass nigga talking about he want to live off of me.
I mean, I guess that would be bum activities.
Look, Day West, it's totally fine to call him. It's totally fine to call him a bum if he's a bum.
A bum is being a bum is bumming, but I just won't have nobody around to be able to call those type of names because I don't even play them type of games.
To Bruce's point, hoes be hoeing, and whole type of behavior is just a whole behavior.
I don't know, like how y'all snuck this name calling back in, but anyway,
like we're not talking about.
So I think we got to just say sex worker now. We'll just say sex worker.
Night, we came to a conclusion that
sex
twerking
work.
and hoeing. So I guess. Fuck it.
So wait. Yeah. I had a question. Day West, if he said, if you're in a relationship and he said, I don't like when you twerk, but what if you knew, like, before y'all get in a relationship, this is not what he wants? Would you, for the love of your,
I'm not out here just twerking. Like, I'm not out here outside. Like, I'm just saying, like, I partake in a little bit of twerk. That's all I'm saying. It's not like something I have to get up and do in the morning. Like,
that's how they do that.
You know what I'm saying?
It do seem like that all day long.
I got a question, Day West. Did you learn how to twerk before you learned how to cook?
I did, actually.
God damn.
Would you say that most Black women would learn how to twerk before they know how to cook?
I learned from TV, you know, back in the day when they used to have BET at night or whatever they call it. What was it?
Oh, BET Uncut. It was BET Uncut.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
So the propaganda made us twerk, and we just keep twerking forever. That's crazy. We got the white man winning.
You defending that thing way too hard.
Twerking ain't it.
Ultimately, like to Andrea's point, I know she ain't up here, but there's certain. I've been reading this book called The Four Agreements, and there's one of the things that they talk about is like the agreements of society, what society expects of you or what have you, right? And to her point, what she said is okay. If you don't want to adhere to society's norms or standards, that's fair, but then you can't be upset with how society responds to you. If they exile you, if they alienate you, if they say, or if they call you out, if they say what they say about you, truly being judgmental free is saying, I don't care what you say about me, but that doesn't mean that you get to go out there and say, hey, you can't say this about me. Well, that's what they call you.
Like when I first got, I'm sorry, when I first got into like real estate, I just saw like people acting like out of bounds, but I had to work with people and say, you know what, we have rules in place. We can do anything in the middle, but we can't do these certain things. There are boundaries in everything that you do. So if that's making money, getting married, it's all the same thing. There's some lines that you don't want to cross it because you don't want to have to deal with the headache later. That's all.
Just like a husband or like a man that you may like in the future, they can't act a certain way with, to be your man, to be that type of person that you're looking for. So they're still going to have to not be their full self. If that's what y'all talking about, they still have to be a certain way to get you. So it's the same thing. So if you're trying to, eventually be with a man, it's just certain things, that's just not going to be acceptable. Just the vice versa. It's the same thing.
But that kind of end up sucking for us too, because just like a dude can end up acting like he got money and treat us good and put on this persona or act like he's just a great guy, and then that veil drop and he's really abusive. Like
those are two extremes. So you can't worry about if a man is going to sit here and be a con artist. You just be what you need to be. And then, of course, you expect your man to be a certain way. And you hope that he is not the con artist. I don't think you should just go out there in a dating space and think like that. Because that's just a fear. I wouldn't think of it like that.
Imagine doing something inappropriate. And then later on, you try to get a position or opportunity and they bring that up and say, well, we can't give it to you because of such and such. That probably break your heart.
Right. And I think that on a women's side, it's like, if I feel bad because it's like, we want to be able to be free and do whatever we want to do and feel, in some ways we might feel like we're not able to do what men do a lot. Like that's really how society it works. But sometimes you got to just accept it and just like, okay, I accept that and let's roll with that, But I had a question for the men. Is it okay if your wife or girlfriend twerks while she's with you on you, or that's unacceptable as well? Every man is different, but I want to get your take.
Oh, my wife, she can dance on me.
Yeah, she.
Mm-hmm.
In your presence with your husband, that's a different situation, and it depends on the environment too. If it's a party setting or whatever, that's a different type of situation. Like if there's children there, I would never set that type of example. But if it's you and your wife, like that's not a hoe, that's your wife. Like it's understood that you are sexual with that particular person. There's also limits too. Like we don't expect you to start coming out of your clothes and all of that and getting real wild. But everything is done with a little bit of tact. That's all.
So basically, you can't twerk until you get a husband. No twerking until you get a husband.
If you plan on having a husband and having children in the future, you should consider,
when
that.
can I twerk? I know.
I'm not saying, look, so I just be real. I'm not saying like don't ever twerk. I'm saying if that is all that you like to do is twerk everywhere you go, including the club. Every time you go there, you gotta drop it and twerk all the time. I'm saying that your man that you want is not gonna always look at you in that space if he always look at you as a fun girl. Like she just likes to have fun all the time. You want to show them that you are serious. And twerking is cute, but it ain't like a serious act. Like you want to show that you're serious and that you could be committed and loyal into a relationship. So twerking in front of a lot of men doesn't show loyalty. You get what I'm saying? It just shows that you like to be seen. You like attention. A man that is want to be your husband don't like a lady that wants attention from other men. So that's all I'm saying.
And then men, you got to understand, men know, like we all been there before. We all know that when you go to twerking and moving them cheeks on us, in most cases we get a hard on. A lot of times y'all will continue to twerk on that joint. Sometimes y'all will peel off, but we already know that you putting them cheeks on a hard pipe. So it's like,